Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria County deputies arrest a man wanted for capital murder in Houston. And a community near Austin honors the life of a woman fatally shot during a Juneteenth celebration, the latest in that investigation this afternoon. And one of the survivors of a mass shooting in Arkansas is speaking out on the incident. We have the condition of the accused shooter and his pending charges.
Fairly quiet weather this week after, of course, Alberto last week, but we will see garden variety little showers pop up for the next few days. We'll also take a look at the tropics coming up in just a moment.
The city of Victoria has some plans to address the homeless issues happening in the Queen City area. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. Today at around 12:15 a.m., Houston police alerted Victoria County deputies about a capital murder suspect headed to our area on Highway 59. The suspect is accused of killing 2 people at an apartment complex parking lot in Houston around 10:45 p.m. Sunday. Deputies pulled him over on Highway 59 near Beck Road. They arrested 40-year-old Gustavo Flores of Mexico. This afternoon, he is being held without bond. Over in Calhoun County, deputies arrested a 55-year-old man Friday. Richard Metzeler is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He remains in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of a $50,000 bond. Cora police arrested a 21-year-old man Friday. Colin Richardson faces an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge from Calhoun County. He is in the DeWitt County Jail in lieu of a $100,000 bond. Multiple people gathered this past weekend to honor the life of a North Texas woman who was killed at a Juneteenth celebration near Austin. Lindsay Vickner was one of 2 people fatally shot during the event in Round Rock. More than 12 others were hurt. The sanctuary at Mansfield Bethlehem Baptist Church was packed Saturday in honor of the 33-year-old wife and mother of 3 children, ages 7, 4, and 1. Friends and family say the active attorney always made time for her community and those she loved.
Kenzie, Cairo, and Kaya knew the meaning of integrity, even at their young ages, because it was modeled and instilled in them. Lindsay showed them what love is, what God's love is.
Since that shooting, Round Rock police have arrested 2 suspects, including a 17-year-old. They say more arrests and charges are expected. The recovery in Calhoun County from Tropical Storm Alberto continues. A storm debris cleanup in Calhoun County precinct started on the beach and roads today. They were also helping with storm debris that washed up on people's properties. The Lighthouse Beach Park and Campground will stay closed due to those elevated tides and wave run-up. Officials will continue to reevaluate the beach and make a decision to either reopen or keep it closed. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with our Chief Meteorologist, Mac Bettis.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, Alberto was last week, and all things considered, Alberto was good to us. Brought us a good solid 4 to 5, 6 inches of rain, minimum damage, and you know, I know there's picking up going on, but that's the nature of the beast this time of the year. Well, we look at the tropics right about now. Things are quiet in the Gulf, but not so quiet in the Caribbean and the Atlantic. So we'll be looking at that potential coming up in just a few minutes. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. One of the survivors of Friday's mass shooting at an Arkansas grocery store is speaking up about the terrifying experience. The attacker opened fire at the Mad Butcher, killing 4 people and wounding 9 others.
A casual trip to the grocery store on Friday turned into a nightmare for the Brazil family. Reverend Thomas Brazil says that the situation quickly escalated when the gunman walked out into the parking lot of the Mad Butcher store and turned his attention towards him and his wife.
He got out of a truck or whatever he was in, and he just started shooting. I thought maybe he were, you know, at first I thought, it's a big old firecracker stand there. I thought maybe it was some kind of firework or something that he was doing. But then I saw glass breaking out of the Mad Butcher. I saw the glass, and he was walking and shooting, and then we said, well, maybe he's shooting somebody into it with somebody in the parking lot. And all of a sudden, he looked at us, and he shot.
Reverend Brazil tells me that they grieve as a community. His family is thankful that they still have both of their parents, But the Reverend tells me for them, it's bigger than that.
But I don't want it about us. I want it to be about the deceased, those who lost their lives.
The Reverend tells me that he hopes anyone going through any kind of pain can find the courage to seek help and guidance.
I was just angry at the world. I don't know his problem, but I'm praying for him. You never know what an individual has been through, but he took it out on the wrong people. Families have been torn apart because of this. They have lost their lives. Loved ones have lost their lives.
The shooter was treated for non-life-threatening injuries after exchanging gunfire with police. He is expected to be charged with 4 counts of capital murder with additional charges pending, although a motive is not yet clear. Violence has made the headlines over the weekend, highlighting the continued tensions in the U.S. over the Israel-Hamas war. In Los Angeles, violence between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel groups took place Sunday outside of a synagogue. Also over the weekend, a Texas woman is charged with attempted capital murder and injury to a child after she tried to drown a 3-year-old Palestinian girl at an apartment complex near Dallas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said in an interview that the intense fighting phase in Gaza could end soon, but the war will not until Hamas is completely eliminated and all hostages are returned home. Meanwhile, the need to temper any escalation between Israel and Hezbollah forces was central to a high-stakes meeting this afternoon between U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Israel's defense minister. That's according to the State Department. The department added the 2 leaders also discussed improving humanitarian aid access to Israel from the south. Homeowners who live near Queen City Park in Victoria face a number of issues that come from homeless people who hang out in the area. For years, residents have complained about trespassing and theft. Now the city of Victoria is planning to address that issue. The city manager's office says they plan to increase police presence, enforce state laws regarding outdoor camping, and improve communication with area residents and Christ's Kitchen. The city is also looking at a neighborhood watch and possibly implementing a curfew in that area. So here is your viewer poll this afternoon. It's going to come up on your screen shortly. The question is, which option do you think would best address the issues at Queen City Park? Is it neighborhood watch program or establishing a curfew? We want to hear your opinion on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And of course, we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. The VEDC is inviting the public to their partnership meeting tomorrow at the Victoria College with President Dr. Jennifer Kent. The meeting will go over progress projects on the project starting there. It starts at 7:30 a.m. in room 205. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. A study looks into the rise of infant mortality rate in Texas after the state's restrictive abortion ban. That's straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. Also ahead, a study takes a look at the rising frequency of extreme wildfires in the western U.S. and Canada. A new study found a possible link between rising infant mortality in Texas and its abortion restrictions. In September of 2021, Texas banned nearly all abortions beyond 6 weeks of pregnancy. The study compared infant deaths in the state and those across the country from 2018 to 2022 and found that between 2021 and 2022, infant deaths in Texas surged nearly 13%. At the same time, the rest of the U.S. saw just an increase of just 1.8%. In Texas, the rate of infant mortality also jumped compared to the rest of the nation. That suggests the increase in deaths was not solely based on the rise in births. One organization says the average time a child spends in front of a screen per day is nearly 8 hours. So here's how to reduce that number this summer.
From video games to TVs, smartphones, and tablets, children and teens can spend a lot of time in front of screens.
Now summer is providing that opportunity with less structure, less routine, and just more free time in general. So it is rather typical to see kids engaging in a large amount of screen time.
Wendy Palmer with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life program says too much screen time can have a significant impact on health, including emotional wellness, less physical activity. It can disrupt healthy sleep routines and be a barrier to quality time with family and friends.
Particularly for our children and our teens, the recommendation is less than 2 hours a day of screen time.
To reduce summer screen time, Palmer says to come up with a family media use plan. Children can even help in the planning of it. She says to set limits on screen time and be consistent in applying them. Designate screen-free time and spaces. For example, no screens in the bedroom, at mealtime, or during family time. Finally, parents can also help by reducing their own screen time.
That can be really challenging for parents too, because we want to stay connected. We might have alerts or notifications going off. So thinking about how do we role model for our kids that I can actually put this device down and engage with them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
This heart-pounding encounter of a bobcat sneaking up on a 10-year-old Yorkie occurred in Collin County. Wildlife experts say new developments is causing habitats to shrink and urban bobcat sightings to become more common in parts of North Texas. The bobcat goes to put its mouth around the dog's neck and then swiped at the dog twice. The homeowner noticed and started screaming, startling the bobcat before getting her dog back inside.
I saw this big cat and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a bobcat, and I couldn't believe my eyes. And I just went into mommy protective mode. Yes. Yeah, it was spooky. I've never seen, it was like being in National Geographic. It was like, a tiger.
She says this is the first time in 16 years living there that they've had a bobcat encounter. Experts say owners should always stay with small pets that are outside, specifically when predatory animals like bobcats and coyotes have been spotted in the area. New research finds both the frequency and intensity of extreme wildfires has more than doubled in the last 2 decades. Researchers looked at 2 decades of data collected by 2 NASA satellites between January of 2003 and November of 2023. They focused on a cluster of extreme events and found there were nearly 3,000 out of more than 30 million fires globally in the western U.S. and Canada. Extreme fire events increased from 6 fires in 2003 to 67 in 2023. That year was also the hottest on record. Now, if you have not seen episode 1 of Let's Grow Texas Ag, a great program on the state of agriculture in the Crossroads area, you can of course watch it this Saturday on 3 Victoria Television Group stations. It's going to be on KAVU Saturday, June 29th at 5 p.m., KVCT Saturday, June 29th at 4 p.m., and also at KXTS Saturday, June 29th at 11:30 a.m. We hope to see you there.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Pretty good looking day, a little hot and humid, but then again, it's summertime. 91 degrees right about now, feels like 104. But as long as you've got a nice breeze blowing, you're in good shape. When the breeze stops, you'll really feel it. 92 was our official high today. It compares to 93. And we'll be talking about heat and the tropics, all that coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We take a look at the big picture, and of course, this is very important. Right now, the Midwest, basically the Central Plains to the Midwest, are under a heat advisory. Why is that important to us? Because as I have said many, many times, whenever the heat goes to Chicago, that opens up the tropical door. Okay, so what happens is that all the tropical air sort of slides under the heat dome, and since you see it parked there, the rain is around it, right? But the tropics are completely open for any more activity. Now, as I said, so far, so good. Alberto gave us some nice rain with minimum of problems. There you see Victoria. We have isolated showers popping around the area today. None of these will be serious nor a concern, but it's good to get a little bit more rain whenever we can, because the interesting part is, I got to figure out where I'm going to stand here, is that the tropics are completely open. In fact, as you see, I was showing you this map earlier, this pink area, that's the area of favored development or high potential for development. So it's really way far south, okay? But right about here, you can see it right to the north of Venezuela, is what is possibly our next system. It has right now a 20% chance of survival to strengthen, but in about 5 or 7 days, which puts it, sometime over the weekend, it should be churning somewhere around here, which would put it in the Caribbean waters. At this point in time, I'm just telling you, the computer models take it into the Gulf Coast of Mexico, again, following Alberto. If it stays on that path, no major problem for us, but at this time of the year, we got to watch that very carefully. Like I said, the storm is way far south, but it's in that pink area, which gives it a high potential for development. And right about now, it's going to skirt just to the north of Venezuela, and then it gets into the Caribbean waters, which are ripe and ready. And one of the things, well, I'll tell you about it later. All right, I had a light bulb that went off in my head over the weekend. Here's our rain chance for the next few days. It's fairly low. These are nice little showers, garden variety showers, the only way to cool down. Otherwise, we're still going to be looking at the low 90s for us, while the rest of Texas, really kind of the Central Plains, whoa, they're having the heat wave that we had a while ago. Now, for those of you down along the immediate coastline, Puerto Vaca, Seadrift, all the way down, you still have a coastal advisory. In other words, the water is coming up very high on the dunes. And that's what I wanted to tell you. All right, why did a storm that was so far south hitting Mexico affect the entire Gulf Coast so much with the surge? Because warm water expands. Therefore, it's higher than its normal size. So yes, blame it on climate change, because our water is now at 87, 88 degrees, and that's, warm water will expand, cold water shrinks, and that's what happened, and that's why the surf was so high. Looking at our high temperatures, about 90, 92, no major problems, just a couple of garden variety showers, a little bit of an increase on Thursday, Friday, but if that thing in the tropic moves, we will certainly let you know about it. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Karina.
Thank you, Matt. Coming up next on 25 News Now 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, a new report shows both homeowners and renters are struggling in the housing market. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 261 points, the S&P 500 down 17 points, and the Nasdaq down 193 points. Oil up 90 cents, closing at $81.63 per barrel. Renters in the U.S. are struggling in the unaffordable housing market. A new report shows both homeowners and renters in recent years are burdened by climbing housing costs. The new report was based on an analysis of existing data indicating nearly 1 in 4 households that own a home are now stretched thin. And the cost burdens are even worse for renters. The report says while rents have rose faster than incomes for decades, the pandemic-era surge in rent prices produced an affordability crisis. Restaurant chain Hooters is closing several locations nationwide. The wing chain says a number of underperforming stores are closing due to tough economic challenges, including rising food and labor costs. It's unknown how many stores are closing, but local reports show several locations have closed in states including Florida, Kentucky, Rhode Island, Texas, and Virginia. Taking the closures into account, Hooters has about 300 locations worldwide. That's a 12% drop since 2018. Fewer Texas students are seeking financial aid for college after this year's FAFSA rollout. You can read this Texas Tribune article on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast when we come back. Plus, a new champion has been crowned as the ugliest, or rather the world's ugliest dog. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, extreme heat, storms, and the major dam in the U.S. tonight at imminent risk for failure. The deadly shark attack the victim acted in Pirates of the Caribbean. And the NYPD tonight on the attempted sexual assault in broad daylight in New York's Central Park today. We're next.
And we have a winner for the world's ugliest dog, and his name is Wild Thing. The 8-year-old from Bend, Oregon, competed 5 different times before winning the title. When he was a puppy, he developed a condition causing his teeth to grow improperly. Wild Thing used his Instagram account to raise money for other dogs his breed in Ukraine. The money used to rescue 7 dogs so far and rehome them with families in the U.S. and Canada. The top 3 winners received $10,000 total. You know, for an ugly dog, he has a great career.
Well, he's got a great career, and obviously we're talking about the little bulldog, right? With the teeth
We're talking about well, it's kind of tough.
He looks like Wild Thing.
Those are all pretty unfortunate looking dogs.
Well, no, it's homely. That's what it is.
Homely.
Homely. They're homely.
Okay. Well.
But a face mother can love.
A face only mother can love.
That's right.
That's okay.
Well, folks, we got a chance for a few isolated showers for the next couple of days. No major problems. Next weekend, which is Sunday, Monday, you see there, we have a slight surge in moisture. It could be part of the next tropical system, but it is headed to Mexico at this hour, and certainly we'll be watching it for you. But, you know, temperatures in the low 90s are not too bad for this time of year.
I'll take it, because I know it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take what we can.
Yeah. Thank you, Mac, and thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with Dave Amir is up next.